Yeah, got a couple of boxes right here. Let's find out what's in it. Oh yeah, the order just came in, y'all. I'm excited because the Texas boys, they also have a really ballin' podcast called the Fearless Podcast. They sent me a couple of boxes in the mail, and I can't wait to get into all of it in different ways. Well, we got some honey here from the Texas boys. Columbia Supremo coffee. Can't wait to give that a shot. And then right here, oh yeah, some nice spread here. You can get all this stuff on their website, but here's what I'm really excited to try out. They sent cuttings of peach, fig, mulberry, and pear. And I'm gonna plant these guys in a way that I've never really done before. I called up TD on the radio, who's basically the dad over at the Texas boys, and asked how they do it. Now, usually when I do any kind of cuttings or anything, it's always gonna be grafting. And, you know, and things, well, with the exception of things like mulberry and fig, where I know I can literally take those guys, put them in the ground down here, and they'll be off and running. So that's exactly what I'm going to go do. And then some of these others I'm going to put with a combination of things in a pot, and I'm going to be doing something of an experiment to try it a different way. So like I said, the mulberry and the figs, I've basically taken those before, and we actually have some down the hill. The pear and the peach, I've always grafted, but we're going to try them a different way and see how that goes. So let's go give it a shot. All right, this is a great idea right off the bat. Food forest in a box. That's what I'm talking about. Now, here's all I need to really get this off and running. You know what's really cool about this is that everybody and their great-grandmother is asking, where on earth can I go to go find trees right now? Right now, there's a whole lot of people that are, you know, look, I understand everybody's got to make a living, but there's a little bit of gouging going on out there in the market. And it's pretty cool that these guys got this thing at a low price point. And I'm pretty doggone surprised at how much you get for this. And good night. Look at these cuttings. All right, so you want to make sure the buds are going up, which is right there. Yeah, look at these, man. Yeah, they look good. So really, it's going to be this simple when it comes to, let me back up just a little bit. Okay, I got a black locust right over here. And usually it's 2 productive trees and then a nitrogen fixer, but somehow, I don't know, I'm pretty sure I didn't plant that. I'm pretty sure that came up, because the reason I know is because right over here is a red bud. So there's no way I would put 2 nitrogen fixers next to each other. So this one is probably going to get brought down and replaced with a productive tree. Well, not that that's not productive, it's just not the tree I want there. So yeah, this nitrogen fixer is definitely going to be sufficient because, yeah, on the other side of that is another nitrogen fixer. That's not a big problem. That's actually a good problem to have, but it's coming down. Here's all I got to do. First of all, let's talk about what was here. And this is what's left of it. This is an elderberry that didn't make it, which is kind of rare. And this ground, before we even start this, y'all, let me just say, this ground was as hard as woodpecker lips. It was very, very tough. We did the Jeff Lawton Instant Garden all over this spot to loosen up the ground. We did that for 1 season, and ground that was absolutely impossible to mess with. I can literally take this thing, push it into the ground like that with no effort whatsoever. Would have never happened before. So here's how simple it is when it comes to things like figs and also mulberries. I'm just going to direct plant them out here. They're really so doggone simple, it'll blow your mind. So here's all I'm going to do. Where that elderberry was, which is, we'll call it about right here. It's not that exact. I'm literally going to pull this off to the side and look at this soil that was, oh my goodness. See all that down in there? That's some pretty awesome mycelial activity going on down there. That's exactly what we want. That's exactly what we want in a tree system. So I'm going to put that down there, and I'm going to leave 1 bud on top, and literally that is it. Now here's what else I'm going to do. Stay put, because I'm going to do one thing that you haven't seen me necessarily do before when I plant trees. Now this here is a Celeste fig. Should do pretty well over here. Figs ain't always going to do great around here, but once again I'm going to show you the same method I showed you before. Cut a Y in it. Basically take that, and I'm going to stick it right over, if I can get it down in there, get it right over my cutting like so, okay? Like I said, all I need is one node above ground. Everything else is cool. Now, it's really this simple. I'm gonna take my mulch, my wood mulch. Now, if it weren't a fig, let me just say this, if this were any other tree, because I know how well and how easily you can grow figs. If this were any other tree, I would put some of my homemade compost down in here. Look, I don't need it. This stuff is already highly fungal dominant. This soil down in here, that's what I was showing you a moment ago with all that mycelial layer hanging down in there. So all I'm gonna do, at this point, all I'm gonna do is mulch it. Mulch it good. So I'm just gonna dump it all on there and then find out where the center was. I'm just gonna put this stuff off to the side. Let's find it, there it is. Literally. Now there's a little bit of rain coming down right now. It's not that consequential. And it's been so dry for so long that I'm really not planting in wet soil, believe me. So it's really that simple. All I got to do, we'll see how much more rain comes, but ordinarily at this point, I would want to water it in. I don't even think it's necessary. So, one mulberry down. Let's go, actually, I'm sorry, one fig down. Let's go look at the mulberry. All right, I'm going to show you another way that I go about doing this too. This here is the mulberry, and pretty much everything's about the way it was, okay? And we can put these in pots. In fact, I'm probably going to show you that here in a little bit. But here's another tree we're replacing. Let's see here. This one was a crimson red plum. As you can see, he's dead, so we're going to replace it. Once again, your buds are up. Now, the only difference is, this one here, like I said, mulberries are also really easy to grow. I'm going to see how far it is. I want at least one node sticking up. Let me go ahead and dig this out just a tad bit more. And I could even go a little bit more. Now, obviously, this ground is actually quite soft. It's not had any rain for a while. So let's go ahead and try her now. Yep, perfect. So I'm only going to do something a little bit different because I know figs do so well. They're really that easy to propagate. Now I got some rooting hormone. This is some Olivia and this Clonex. I've used them both, and both of them seem to work equally well. There's even folks out there that have a rooting hormone. Now I can go ahead and cut these off at the end. Here's another way to do it. For these types of trees, you really ain't got to do much. Now, if I had some of those cutters, which I can't seem to remember the names of right now, I would just go ahead and cut it right off. Or at the end of it, I'm just going to score it a little bit. And then when it roots, that's about where it's going to come out. So that's one way of doing it. Like TD, I'm not a big fan of the powdery stuff. This stuff it always stays on. So it's really this simple. Stick it down in the rooting hormone, and then I'm just going to stick it right there in the hole, cover it up, and this thing is going to do wonders. Now, like I said, if it were another tree, I'd probably put a little bit of compost down. Oops, almost messed that up. But I really don't have to worry about it. This is a mulberry, and this is what's so beautiful about these trees I'm planting. So the fig and the mulberries, you got to try to kill, okay? And I don't know why mulberries, well, I know why they get such a bad rap, especially in the South. Everybody hates how they stain their vehicles and stuff like that. Well, I'm a big fan of them, especially when you put them near your ponds and then all that good stuff. When you put them near your ponds, you can use them to feed your fish as they fall down in there. You can even see in this mulch, man, how fungal this is. So I know that this fungal dominant mulch here, which obviously it is very, very fungal dominant, it's going to do everything I need to happen. It's really that simple to put this in. Now we got the rest of them I'm going to do. I only got one more tree to replace over there. And I'm going to use, outside, I'm going to do nothing but figs and mulberries. Because for me, they're proven, they're tested, they're so easy to propagate. And honestly, they got a really good deal on them too. So we'll just go on up the hill, plant a few more things, and then we'll put some in pots and show you how we go about that. All right, so let's talk about what we got here. Excuse the mess. I mean, there's a lot of things in transition right now. Basically got these tree pots with some really rough compost in it. Stuff I've made, obviously. Highly fungal. And right here we got some pear. So You know what you could do with a lot of these is you could absolutely positively graft these. So I got 4 here. I think they come with a bundle of 3 typically, but I could easily take these 3 nodes. I could cut this in half, this, and I could easily graft it. I mean, you'd want something probably a little bit smaller for grafting. Let me grab some, let me score this thing up a little bit. Obviously you want it facing up. So just to make everything cool, I'm just gonna go ahead, cut off that last little bit at an angle and get through there. Okay, now it's nice and fresh, and it's really this simple. I'm gonna stick this bad boy in the rooting hormone, and then right down in the pot, leave about that much sticking above. It's really that simple. I'm gonna go through it. I mean, you can be off and running in no time flat. And like I said, if you chose to graft these, you would get way more trees out of it. But this is a simple, easy way of doing it. Stick it in the rooting hormone. Uh-oh, this stuff is a little bit sticky icky. And it's a different brand. Like I said, it's that Olivia's. This is the latest experiment I'm gonna do. I'm at a windowsill inside my home, and I got all my cuttings here. Got peach, pear, and fig right down the middle, and then 1 mulberry. The rest of them are gonna go outside. Now, I'm obviously gonna make sure it's moist. There's a bunch of different ways you can go about this, and TD over at the Texas Boys, we'll leave a link down below, has a lot of good instruction and varying ways to go about doing this. You can do it in a Ziploc. There are so many different ways you can make this happen. But this, because I got some on the front porch, I got some on the back porch, I got figs, I got blueberries, I got all this stuff going. What we don't want to have happen is that they freeze. You freeze the roots. We don't want that to happen. So I'm going to try another little method here. So I'm going to try it. I'm going to just see, because I got my front porch out here. I got the window here. I'm going to stick this up in front of here in a little while, and we're going to see how it does. Obviously, you want to make sure it's a little bit moist. And because it's dormant, it's going to be working on the roots this time of year. So that's exactly what we want. Now, at the end of the day, for the cost of this, I think it's a winner. I really do. And honestly, right now, nobody can seem to find trees in any form. At least not any that you find necessarily reliable. Go check them out, y'all. In fact, use promo code PERMA for 5% discount. It's already steeply discounting my judgment anyway for what comes in this box. 4 different trees and all those cuttings. I think it's a winner. So definitely go over there, check them out. And it's 5% on pretty much everything you buy over there, as I understand it. So use that promo code PERMA, and you'll save yourself a little bit of money. All right, y'all, go check them out. And remember, till the end of this month, or not the end of the month, rather, but until we run out, anybody that buys any comfrey from us over at Perma Pastures Farm, remember, we're going to throw in a crown as well. So be sure to do that. Check us out on the Permaculture Pimpcast. The world's balling this Pimpcast about permaculture, preparedness, practical living. Go check us out over there. Check us out on Patreon, and be sure to check us out here. But be sure, absolutely, go over to the Texas Boys, get this and anything else they got. All right, y'all. Hopefully that's been a blessing to you. Until next time, this is Billy from Perma Pastures Farm, where permaculture is my passion. We'll see you next time.